Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Dynasty's Racing League's Grand National Series. Tonight I am your host, David Welborn, and I am joined in the booth tonight by Adam de Blasio, last night's winner in our Cup Series. How you doing tonight, Adam? What? That helps if I unmute myself. Good night. Good night. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Dynasty Racing League's Grand National Series. Tonight I am your host, David Welborn, and we are here at the Charlotte International Speedway's Roval. Tonight I am joined in the booth by Adam de Blasio, last night's Cup winner. How you doing tonight, Adam?
Pretty good. How are you? It was a pretty interesting race last night here at the Roval.
Well, I think we're going to have one that's going to be pretty interesting here as well. A couple of quick stories we're going to be looking at. We're going to first start looking at our point standings. As you can see, Ben Izinga is currently on the bubble. He is in 8th place as we head into Dover next week. Will be the final chance for these drivers to make it into the playoffs. And you can see Gary Cronowit is all the way down in 12th place right now, 55 points in behind, which is about 6 points off of Ben Izinga. What Cronowit's going to have to do here tonight is he's going to have to either win this race to get in and get locked in, or he's going to have to finish in the top 4 and hope that Dustin Jones and Brett Kingcott and James Pandolf finishes behind him, and preferably way behind him when we get into this run here at the Charlotte Roval. We're currently riding around with the man, Hesgard. I know his sole purpose for tonight is to simply survive, as he is locked in already with a win last week. Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be an exciting race here this evening. Now, we are here for the Charlotte Motor Speedway. I know it says we're here for 100 laps. That is not right. We are here for actually 44 laps. It's going to be 100 miles. I believe it's what it works out to be, and I'm not sure. I'm not a mathematician. But it is a hiccup on our graphics department. Martin, he's so busy. He's got so much going on. Little typo. Never hurt nobody. Our next race in this series will be at Dover. It is going to be the last chance the driver has to get into the playoffs, to secure the point to get above that cut line. If you're not above that cut line after the Dover International race, too bad, too sad. Glad you came out. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You are not in the playoffs. Sorry, gentlemen, but it was fun. It was real fun. Our next race is going to be tomorrow night, and it is going to be at Charlotte. And hint, hint, wink, wink. There may be another driver that y'all haven't seen in a couple of weeks show up for that race. I don't know who that might be, but if you're not a fan of the 96 truck, well, he might be back. You never know. Anyway, looks like Cronowit has the pole, which is exactly where he needs to stay. Hesgard is currently 3rd, which is not a bad run for Mr. Hesgard. Let's see, who else do we got on the track that is not qualified completely yet? I believe Wright is actually going to be waiting to cross the line. I don't know.
Ben just took the pole from Gary.
And I think, Wright is waiting to cross the line. JP 74, what's he doing? JP is all over the place, but he is trying to get a lap in. Looks like Clay Phillips is actually, he's in the server, but he's not started a qualifying run as of yet. Mike Lemon, another driver that has been really fast during practice, is on track right now trying to complete his first lap. So let's get on board with Mr. Lemon and see if he can make this thing work and get himself up, in contention to be in the top 3 of this start. I ate that piece of candy, and now it's gave me the hiccups, ladies and gentlemen. Lemon looks pretty fast. Let's see where he shakes out when he crosses the line.
It's a little loosey in the backstretch chicane there. but looks like it's a clean chicane.
And Mike Lemon is, I mean, he's just been on a tear here of late. He just needs to capitalize on it with a solid finish here tonight. As he crosses the start finish line, it moves him into fourth. Not a bad starting spot for him as of right now. JP, I don't know if he's actually made a lap yet or not. We do have Octavio Silvera on track. I'm sure he's just riding around trying to get to the tail end of this field to cross the line to get his one lap in. And then we have Brett Kingcock, who has got 3 minutes to make at least one lap. He's got to make 2 laps. Actually, he's got to make one around the track, and then he's got to come back around it to get a time in. And he is still sitting on pit road. I don't know what he's thinking.
Basically has to leave pit road by about 2 minutes 40 seconds left in the server. So right now.
Yeah, and he is still sitting on pit road. Knock. Brett, wake up! You got to move, bud. JP was unable.
Looks like Mike Lemon's coming around to try a second lap to see if he can get more speed out of it. He's in 3 and 4 right now.
Yeah, you know, I noticed that he was picking up speed. Honestly, his second lap around, so he may actually do it. Wow, he got that car almost on 2 wheels.
He improves by a smidgen.
He does improve, but he doesn't improve his position. So we still got David Wright waiting across the start-finish line. JP apparently 2 attempts failed. Clay Phillips, I'm not sure, didn't even get on the track that I know of. Brett Kingcock is currently, let's see where he's at, still sitting on pit road. So 4 drivers have yet to qualify. I'm pretty sure that Brett Kingcock is most likely going to have to do a stop and go, which is almost devastating here at this track, is it not? Well, he is actually in the playoffs. So, yeah, I mean, that's got to be heartbreaking if he doesn't get a shot at qualifying. He's not going to do it with a minute to go. It takes more than a minute to get around this track just for your warm-up.
With that being said, a drive-through may not be the worst thing in the world. With turn 1 and the backstretch chicane, first few laps of a race, he may actually avoid a big wreck.
But he's definitely going to avoid a wreck, that's for sure. Slowing down and coming down this long, slow 55-mile-an-hour pit road speed. It is 55, not 55 or 45. I can't remember. I think it's 55. I don't remember. Do you remember what the pit road speed is?
It's 40 miles an hour.
Wow, that's really slow. So
it's slow, but at the same time, because of the chicane on the front stretch and stuff, you're not losing as much time because I think my slow green flag pit stop lap coming out was like 1:40, which was only 20 seconds, 20 seconds slower than a normal lap. So it's not that bad at this track.
it's bad enough, I tell you. I wouldn't want to have to do it. Okay, let's see if we can reset this crap and get it to work. Ben Izinga is on the pole. Gary Cronwith is second. Followed by Getty Butner, Mike Lemon, Bill Edwards, Ryan Hesgard, Andrew Short, James Larillo, Dustin Jones, Octavio Silvera, David Wright, Clay Phillips, and we're missing somebody. Octavio Silvera, I don't know. Anyway, that was what they said the grid was. Anyway, we got it through. Pace car's moving out. We got drivers James Pendoff did last, and Brett Kingcock. Those were the two that was missing off. Oop. Dang, I'd hate for them to wreck their cars right there. You know, that'd be crazy. So, Izinga getting a really nice starting position as they do this quick warm-up lap.
I expect Kronowit to maybe get by him rather quickly, because I watched him on his first lap and he completely missed the backstretch chicane on that first lap, and then the second lap he also hit the wall on the backstretch chicane, so it didn't count that lap. So I expect Gary to have a little bit of speed going into this first lap.
Well, Gary Kronowit is my pick for tonight, and he really definitely needs to pull this thing off. Who are you going with?
I don't really know these guys, but I'll go with 38 of Mike Lemon.
There you go.
I don't know why. I just have a good feeling about him.
Well, he was really fast in practice, and he's been really fast here of late. He just hasn't been able to really capitalize a lot on it. But you can't go wrong with any one of these top 5 drivers. That much is for sure. And we always can't count out Hesgard, who was lurking back there in 6th place, waiting just to pounce for these gentlemen to mess up. The lights are out on the pace car as we are set to get green flag racing. Look forward to seeing a nice short 44 laps here tonight, and I'm hoping that everything works out smoothly. Now, we do not have a drive-through, stop and go, whatever it is, for cutting the course as they do in real life, but these gentlemen will get a slowdown function. What in the world are they doing? If they cut the course like that, if they cut the course like that, they will get a slowdown function, and race control will not only race control will make them stop on the track. That's what happened with y'all last night, right?
That is correct.
So
if you miss a chicane, race control will give you a stop and go.
So cutting the courses will result in a stop on the track and then go penalty. Don't stop on the track in front of somebody, please.
All right, pace car is in. The one difference is you have to use a chicane on iRacing versus in real life, where you can continue with the oval.
And the green flag is out. And I think I got a really good start there. Jump back here to Getty Butner.
Looks like everyone's patient in the back, all single filing out.
The only difference is that Butner finally makes it clear of Hesgard.
Rather clean turn 1 as they're going down the little, I don't know what to call this part of the track.
Well, everybody does appear to be single file. So that's all well and good. We get back up front. Izinga has got him a nice little gap here already with a full second over top of Kronowit.
Oh, we got a car hitting the wall. It's Brent.
Oh no. Let's see if we can't find out what happened to Mr. Kingcott. Oh wow, he's just gonna roll it on in there on the outside of Octavia Silvera and slam the outside wall. And it looks like he's got an internet connection issue as well.
And as you're looking at the replay, the 2 chicanes went very well on lap 1. Everyone has gotten through it rather cleanly.
You come in here where Hesgard struggled right here all night long as he comes off and out of the turn 1. Izinga's doing a really good job with putting his car and getting the nose settled as he gets set to go through there. Awesome driving by Izinga. He has actually pulled away to a 1.5 second lead over Kronowit. But again, Cronenwit really only needs to finish in the top 4 of this race and keep everybody else that's in front of him behind him. And Getty Butner looking just to make things work for him. He is currently riding in the 4th position, right behind Mike Lemon, who is currently in 3rd. These cars are starting to get a little spaced out between each other. Actually, the closest battle on the track is between Getty Butner and Ryan Hesgard by a half a second for these two gentlemen, as they are 1 and 2 of our points lead. If I'm not mistaken, that's how the points are looking as of right now. Actually, Larillo's moved himself up into 2nd place. Way to go, Larillo. Working lap 3.
As someone on the front stretch almost lost it. Yes, but he's all straight and going. Oh, we got someone that kind of missed the back stretch chicane.
I think that's Dustin Jones.
As we are shaping up to have a battle for the lead.
Octavio Silvera is the one that missed the chicane. Looks like Cronenwit
down the backstretch chicane. Cronenwit takes a look on Ben.
Ben must have really messed up for Cronenwit to gain a 1.2 lead, or gain 1.2 seconds on top of him that quickly. Let's see if we can't rewind it just a little bit to see what happened and how Izinga was able to lose such speed. I don't see it. Just Cronenwit doing an awesome job in closing that gap. It don't take much to lose a little bit of time in these turns. I mean, you missed your mark by just a little bit, it can cost you. Wow, Cronenwit got that thing up on 2 wheels. You're going to see a lot of drivers doing that. I wouldn't want to be playing Dukes of Hazzard with these bump stops, but it seems like that's the only way you can get these cars to turn, especially at this track. You got to do what you got to do to make it work. Awesome driving by these two gentlemen up front as we're working lap number 4. Yeehaw, we are really putting down some laps now.
And not only that, we also have a little battle for 3rd place as well.
Between
Mike Lemon and Getty Butner.
Yeah, that is really taking things up. Getty Butner's gained quite a bit of time on Mike Lemon. Of course, now you got Hesgard sitting right there. He's still in the view. Of course, like I said, Hesgard, his goal tonight is just to survive this race. I know that that's what his job is here tonight. He's already locked in for the next round. No sense in going out here and tearing up your car and trying to be a bully for the championship and going out for a win and running over everybody. His main goal is just to finish. If he can finish this race with a solid top 4, top 5 finish here tonight, he'll be set. And you don't want to go into the playoffs dead last. He doesn't want to tear his car up and end up finishing this race dead last, because that would put him at the bottom, almost pretty much at the bottom. It probably wouldn't put him all the way, considering he does have a 13-point advantage over everybody else, but it would definitely drop him significantly in the points, and that's not where you want to be heading into Dover with a chance at not making the playoffs. Even though you're going to go into the next round, you're definitely making it into the next round, but you don't want to be on the bottom end of that spectrum. Right, Adam?
right? For for the playoffs, you definitely want the momentum, and you want to have as much padding and points cushion over your competitors. As Lemon kind of overdrives turn one, and now Buckner's really on his rear bumper right now.
They take two different lines completely. I've been noticing. Wow, he forces Butner way up the track. As Butner was taking a look on the outside of him there. As we get back up to
And
the
we got
front,
battle for the lead.
Cronowitz is there. He's all over the back end of Izinga. Hoping Izinga makes a mistake here. Wow, Cronowitz used all of that track right there. You're going to be right there in the draft to Izinga.
I learned in my race, you don't really want to try and pass someone going into the backstretch chicane. You want to try and maintain, because you can really overdrive the backstretch chicane and mess up your lap and miss it, and we'll get a stop and go.
You learned that from last night, huh?
Yeah, I learned that from last night.
Well, a lesson learned. What we learn makes us stronger and a better racer, that's for sure.
For sure. You always want to be learning. Once you think you know it all, you start losing ground to everyone else, because you can always improve.
That is a mouthful in itself there, bud. Even Earnhardt learned that he could learn something every time he went out on the track. That's what made him so great.
Alright, looks like the leaders are going to be catching a lap car in about a lap or two. We'll see how that shakes things up.
I believe that's going to be Brett Kincott or Octavio Silveira one. Probably Octavio Silveira, seeing how he is dead last.
That would be
Octavio.
Octavio.
And he looks like he's just out riding around for a Sunday drive. He's running lap times of 1 minute and 45 seconds his last time by. I don't even see any damage on his car. The back end looks good. He does have a little scrape on his nose. I'm not sure where that comes from. The leaders are right there.
The leaders.
Oh, Cronowitz going to try to make a move. He was thinking about it. Oh!
Octavia runs into a wall.
Wow. I mean, he got scared. I'm sure that he was just trying to stay out of the leader's way. But I don't think he was expecting Izinga to jump up underneath him like that right there. And he had that thing locked down, and there's nothing he could do about it. It slid it right into the wall. Took out its hood, so unfortunate.
Well, the last driver that did that in real life went on to win the race. Unfortunately, I don't think Octavia has a pace tonight, but he's in good company, at least.
I believe that was Chase Elliott, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, my favorite driver.
Not going to say nothing, but he is a good driver. He's not my favorite, but he's a good driver. And he did an awesome job, by the way. I watched that race. It was awesome. Awesome job.
Yeah.
I was so happy to find out that Jimmy Johnson did not make the playoffs. Makes me want to start watching racing again.
He struggled the last 2-3 years. In fact, the last race he won was Dover, which was like 2 years ago, and that's the first and only time I've gone to Dover, so it may be the Adam curse that I have to go back to Dover to lift it, which I plan to this Sunday.
If you lift that curse and he wins the race, I'll find out where you live and kill you. I do not care at all for Jimmy Johnson. He ruined it for me when he gets out of the car at Charlotte Motor Speedway after winning a race and says it's his house. Because I think he won.
Conway almost gets into Izinga. They're right bumper to bumper.
He's doing everything he can to get by him.
And looking at the top 5, they're all within shouting distance of each other. So they haven't spread out as much as the Cup race did last night.
Well, what gets me with Jimmy is Jeff Gordon. He was my man back in the day, and Gordon had won a lot of races in Charlotte, a lot of the 500s and the money thing, the Coca-Cola thing, for the $1 million stuff. And
Oh,
Jimmy gets out of the car after winning at Charlotte. I can't remember if it was one of the $1 million races or not, but he claimed that Charlotte was his house because they had named it Lowe's Motor Speedway that year or whatever. He said that I just lost all total respect for him because Gordon had like 5 or 6 more wins than he had, and he ain't nothing. I'm done with Jimmy Johnson. Let's get back into this race. Izinga has led every lap so far. Trailer right behind him is Gary Cronowitz, followed by Mike Lemon. Mike Lemon is got Getty Butner hot on his trail, and Hesgard is still right there in the picture, ladies and gentlemen. Not allowing these gentlemen to run away. He's maintaining his top 5 position. Had to go all the way back, about 11 seconds back off of Hesgard to get to Bill Edwards, who is running currently in 6th place. And he is 6 seconds back off of Hesgard. Followed by James Larillo, who is currently 2.7 seconds off of Edwards. Then we got car 54, where are you? Andrew Short riding around the track in 8th place. 6 seconds off the back of James Larillo, 20 seconds off of the leader. We got Brett Kingcott, even after making, I guess, a pass-through penalty or whatever. If he did or didn't, I don't know. He is currently running in 9th position ahead of David Wright, who is currently running in the top 10. And then we got JP, 55 seconds back off of our leaders, running in 11th place. And then we have last year's champion, Clay Phillips, currently riding in 12th place. Not even sure. Clay Phillips, he is in the playoffs, so he needs to improve a lot if he wants to continue on into the next round of playoffs. And followed by him is going to be Dustin Jones, who is letting the leaders go by right now as they speak, or as I speak. So that puts Dustin Jones 1 lap down. And Octavio Silvera.
A little bit about Dustin Jones. When you first started your field rundown, he actually missed the backstretch chicane and spun out, but it was a harmless spin, and he just got back going. So lost a little bit of time, but harmless spin.
Yeah, well.
As he misses a front stretch chicane, and he comes to a stop, or doesn't come to a stop, and just lets everyone go.
That's about as close to a stop as you probably going to get from him, but he definitely just locks it up, right? He didn't even lock it up, he just slows down. Wow.
As Gary is all over Ben through the infield portion of this road course.
They have been on top of each other since pretty much the beginning of this race. Both cars still look immaculate.
He gets a little loose and takes out some cones with him.
Who's this?
Gary Cronowitz. He just got a little loose and lost a little bit of ground to Ben. But all is good.
Now, we were talking earlier, you would say that pit stop's going to run around halfway at lap 22, but they can go as far as 30 laps or maybe even a little bit more. You still go with that strategy coming in at lap 22 for these drivers?
So if I'm the leader and if I have a big lead, I'll pit a couple laps after halfway to keep a tire advantage and allow the second placer, if he decides to pit at halfway, to gain ground on me, but I would have the tire advantage on the long run. So there's that strategy, which is not going to happen because the leaders are nose to tail. Then you got the secondary strategy of undercutting it, something that Lemon or Getty could do, to try and get the lead and try and make someone like Ben and Gary pass them in the second run of the race. But the ideal strategy is you target halfway and then you do plus minus 1 or 2 laps depending on how you're running on the track. Is
Right.
how I usually figure out my own strategy for races.
Well, Ray Abraham said the way you win races is you run them backwards. So, oh wow, corner whip. If he didn't hit that wall, he came awful close.
Yeah, that was rather close. No harm, no foul. Gotta keep going.
Let me see if we can't get a look at that again. I think he hit the wall, to be honest with you. If he didn't, I swear if he didn't, he came awful close to it.
But going back to what you said about running the race backwards, unfortunately with the tire model iRacing has right now, the tire fall off, it makes better sense to pit at halfway and get the maximum tire out of both runs rather than pit early and get an advantage. Also, there's no cautions to trap people from having to go to pit road during a yellow, so that's another thing going against that strategy.
Well, I don't know what's happened to Hesgard, but he has dropped almost 3.5 seconds off the back end of Getty Butner. He is still currently running in the 5th position, but he has definitely lost quite a bit of time to Getty Butner and Mike Lemon, who we just saw that are currently still doing battle, just as our leaders are up front. Of course, now Izinga has pulled away. He's gapped Cronowitz by a full second now, but I imagine Cronowitz will come back with that and close that gap, as they are now coming up on the back end of Clay Phillips to put Clay Phillips out there. Wow, what happened there?
It looked like I think he had a stop and go penalty. I heard race control talking to someone.
Let's see.
Stop and go.
He is going to definitely cross and get a slowdown penalty, and I guess race control told him to stop. Race control did tell him to stop, and he went on. So that is our stop and go. That's what we mean by having to stop on the track, by cutting the course there.
And Gary is right on Ben's bumper heading onto the oval as the common theme of the race continues. And Ben actually gets a little loose. This may allow Gary to outbrake him going into the chicane.
Oh, he's all over the back end of him. He gets up underneath him.
Yeah,
oh, he turns him.
He's gonna turn him.
That is going to be, oops, my bad, sorry. Looked like that was actually, I'm going to say that was netcode. We're going to jump on board with Cronowitz, and we're going to see if in fact that was netcode. Wow, I don't know, can't tell from that angle. Let's see, can't see from that angle either.
Looks like from the far chase view, even if it was netcode, a little bit of netcode, he would have gotten that left rear anyway, in my opinion.
Yeah, I believe he would have too. But anyway, that gives Cronowitz the lead, and his front end is messed up. So I'm sure that's not how he actually wanted to take over the lead. But you got to do what you got to do. And the good news is that Mike Lemon's car is currently undamaged, and I don't believe. Well, Izinga did get a little bit of right fender damage. I don't know how he really got that, unless he actually got into the wall. But Izinga is currently running in third place. He is 4 seconds off the lead due to that spin. And now we got Cronowit and Lemon doing battle, and Getty Butner. Mike Lemon and Getty Butner were close together, and now all of a sudden there's a 6 second gap between him and Lemon. So not sure what went on there. But we got SGK and SGK first and second. And Ben Izinga.
Lemon is right on Cronowit's bumper in the infield section.
And they just put JP a lap down. So
yeah, I talked to JP before the race. He wasn't really looking forward to this race. It's lap 16 for him, lap 17 for the leaders.
Whoa! Cronowit really hit that apron hard. Oh, don't do that in front of everybody. Wow. He lost a ton of time right there. Let's see if we can get that from a chase view point. He is going to catch a lot of air right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it looks like he cut the corner a little bit too much and hit those turtles, and it shot him right out to the outside of the track.
That has put him in fourth place as of right now, where he needs to be if he wants to complete this run here this evening and make it into the playoffs on points. But you know that's got to be disheartening, knowing that you were leading the race and every bit of that could have been avoided. You did that to yourself. So now he's going to have to really struggle to make up 8 seconds. He's got to make up 8 seconds over the leader.
It's definitely going to be a challenge, but there's still another 26 laps to go. So it's doable. 8 seconds. You got to make up. I'm not going to do the math, but it's doable if he's got the pace.
He's got the pace. It's just he's got to have the patience. And he just definitely lost some patience right there going the way he did. And these cars are getting really slick. I've seen the back end step out a lot here off of Cronowit.
So going back to strategy, maybe this is the time where he's going to pit around like lap 20 and undercut the halfway by like 2 laps because he made his tires angry, and maybe he can get the lead back, and then Lemon may have a tough time trying to get around him again. So we'll see if he thinks about that strategy.
Well, I think he's moved his way back into the second position due to Cronowit's spin there, and he is actually gaining time on Lemon. So. Or at least he was. Oh, what in the world is Butner? What did you do, Mr. Butner? Wow, you just missed that thing completely. Oops. My bad. Getty Butner seems to have missed the game completely.
Yeah, he just needs to calm down and refocus. Obviously, he's trying to overdrive the car to make up lost ground. That's the worst thing you can do at a road course, especially this one. All he has to do, he knows he has a pace. He just has to calm down and hit his marks and be consistent and not overdrive it, and he should get back on pace.
Well, there seems to be a race building up right here with Esgard and James Larillo. Larillo is slowly catching the back end of Esgard. That would actually put Esgard down in the 6th position if Larillo was actually able to catch him and pass him. And again, Izinga is still closing that gap on Lemon. And Cronowit continues to fall back.
Yeah, that last lap, Nzega was 0.3 of a second faster than Lemon. So we'll see what the lap times are this lap.
Butner has caught the back end of Cronowit. Now Cronowit's going to have to stay off Butner to maintain that 3rd position. think Cronenwood just passed Butner.
That is true.
We are coming up on halfway here in the Dynasty Racing League's DRL Grand National Series. If you're just joining us, we are at Charlotte's Roval International Speedway, and your current leader is Mike Lemon, followed by Ben Izinga, Gary Cronenwood, Getty Butner, and Ryan Isgard is going to be your top 5. Well, Mr. De Blasio, since I got you in the house, jump up on the ride along with Lemon and give them a play-by-play. I need to use the little restroom. Okay.
All right. So as you can see here, he's going into NASCAR 3 and 4. We'll see if he goes into 4th gear, and he's going to actually pit this time by on lap 20. We'll see who else comes in. But first, we're going to see if he has a clean entry to his pit stop. Also in are Ben Inzega and Getty Butner, so the top 3 basically all pit. Basically, the entire field's pitting except Cronenwood. Gets into his stall cleanly. So he gets out. Gotta make sure he blends correctly, and he should be good. So during that lap, 5 people pit, including Mike Lemon, Ben Inzega, Getty Butner,
Ryan Isgard, James Murillo. Yep.
So Lemon brought a whole lot of people onto pit road this last lap. So. But one
makes
that
the
did
lead
not
over.
come in was Gary Cronenwood.
And that might be working out to his advantage, staying out on these old tires, giving him fresher tires for that longer run, like you said at the end of this race here. Kincock now down pit road. Cronenwood now finally coming down pit road. That's going to hand the lead back over to Mike Lemon once everything cycles through. Let's see if Cronenwood takes any damage repairs. I don't think he will. I think he's going to just grab 4 tires and get her done. Gets into his pit box safely.
Lemon's already into turn 1 and going into turn 2. Ben is now into turn 1, so he'll be in 3rd. As of now, here comes Buckner, I believe.
He gets out right there behind Buckner. So Cronenwood's there. He's ready to make up that ground to take over 3rd place. As Andrew Short and Pandolf finally come down pit road.
So it doesn't look like anyone's going to be using the long strategy for fresh tires at the end of the race. They think that they're going to lose too much time. So I would say since the top 5 was that close together, this was the correct strategy for everyone.
Nope, and Buckner just lets Cronenwood go. So, of course, now Cronenwood's got a long way to go. I mean, he's going to make it into. He's currently running 3rd, but he's what? Let's see if this thing cycles through. It'll tell me how far back he is off of a limit. Once everything cycles through, I gotta wait for ATVO to finally update. Looks like Cronenwood is 12 seconds back. 12 and a half seconds back off the leader. That is a lot of ground to make up at a Roval. He's gonna have to hope Mike Lemon wrecks that thing, and along with Izinga.
Speaking of those two, they just ran their fastest lap of the race. Lemon, Inzega, Hesgard, and Lorello all ran their fastest laps of the race that last lap.
Wow.
Cronowit was on an outlap, so we'll see what his fast lap is going to be this time by when he comes by.
Looks like JP is still on pit road. And Clay Phillips has finally come down pit road. Clay Phillips. Clay Phillips is still not doing a bad job here tonight. He's not going to finish dead last. He's actually going to gain some positions over JP as he is currently running in 12th. He needs to pass Dustin Jones back, whatever just happened there between him and Jones. I guess Jones passed him on pit road. He did pass him on pit road. Wow, Jones is all over the place. Clay Phillips is actually not far off the back end of Dustin Jones. Maybe he'll be able to take 11th place back. Your leaders, ladies and gentlemen, is currently Mike Lemon, your pick for the night, by the way. And
I wasn't going to say anything because I don't want to jinx anything.
And then Ben Izinga, 6 seconds back, currently in 2nd place, followed by this man right here, Gary Cronowit, currently 11.8 seconds back in 3rd. Then you have Getty Butner, 4th place, 1.9 seconds off the back end of Cronowit, 14 seconds off the leader. And then we have Hesgard, rounds out our top 5, 20 seconds off the lead. Have 5.9 seconds off the back of Getty Butner. And then you got Larillo right there. I mean, he is 0.6 of a second off the back end of Hesgard, where he has been pretty much these last 5 or 6 laps, even throughout the pit stops. Looks like JP may be calling it a night. I'm not sure what's going on with him. His car is totally tore up on the rear end. He must have really hit hard somewhere.
Yeah, I talked to JP before the race, and he's not a fan of road courses, and he said something about hoping to survive more than 5 laps. Well, JP,
made it halfway.
You made it halfway, so that's about 17, 18 more laps than what you were planning on making. So I know it's not your strong suit, but you did better than what you expected.
It looks like Mike Lemon is coming up on the back end of. Who is that? Is that car 54 we're on? No. Who is he coming up
on? Dustin Jones.
Yeah. It just looked different. It looked funny. I was still looking for one of the SGK cars, but Dustin Jones getting ready to go a 2nd lap down here this evening. As Mike Lemon is currently closing that gap pretty fast as he gets up in him. Gets underneath him here in the chicane. Lemon was able to make the pass, forces Dustin Jones to swing really wide during that little chicane.
I think that kind of slowed him down because he was a second slower that last lap than the previous lap. Although Mike and Ben both ran 22.8s, and Cronowit was 0.6 of a second faster with a 22.2. So.
But, you know, this story right here with Brett Kingcock, now he started dead last. He is still currently on the lead lap as of right now, and he's in 9th place. So he's not doing too bad as of right now as far as staying in the hunt for these championship points. He is, looks like 3 points off of Dustin Jones, and Dustin Jones and Izinga are tied. So Kingcock, with the 3-point advantage as of right now over top of Dustin Jones. So that would put him right there on the cut line. Of course, now we got Izinga running 2nd. That is going to boost Izinga all the way up into the points. When this thing all checks out, may see Brett Kingcock above the cut line, and we may actually end up seeing Clay Phillips below it. And Of course, now all things will switch over when we get to Dover. Dover will be our final race. Whoa, King Cott, what are you doing trying to get around Octavio? Octavio just trying to get out of the way. Of course, now when we get to Dover, everything's going to change up. These gentlemen will have one last chance to get above that cut line. If you want to try to get all the points you can get here this evening to make everything work out into your advantage, as Clay Phillips did end up going a second lap down. And we're going to jump in car here with Mike Lemon as he crosses the start-finish line. And we're going to take this little chicane here with him. And we'll take a full lap with him as we get ready to cross the start-finish line. Matter of fact, let's turn it up. I should say let's rev it up. Wow. Mike Lemon is really manhandling this car here this evening. We saw him almost get sideways as we were riding along with him there. Mike Lemon is really working this car here this evening as he really manhandles the car. We saw him almost get loose there one time from a really aggressive driving style that he's got here this evening here at the Charlotte Roval. But he is currently our leader. 6 seconds over Ben Izinga. Gary Cronowitz closing that gap ever slow slightly. He has cut it down to 9 seconds off of our leader, and he cut 3 seconds off into Ben Izinga. So he stands a shot at maybe coming away with a second place finish as we have 14 laps to go this time by.
As Lemon exits the backstretch chicane and goes into turns 3 and 4, he's coming up to put Brent Kingcott a lap down. So,
well, Brent's fought hard to stay on the lead lap all evening. Done an awesome job here so far. He has not got anything to be upset about with his run he has here this evening.
And going into turn 1, he just lets Lemon go. So, very respectful from Brent.
He can't lose or gain anything. The closest car to his back end is David Wright, 44 seconds back. I believe he is. And Andrew Short still on the lead lap, but he won't be there long as Mike Lemon is going to be coming up on him very shortly.
Looking at the lap times of the top 3 drivers, they all ran within 0.3 of a second of each other. That's not big enough of a margin for anything to make a difference in terms of gaining and losing on each other. So if Lemon stays consistent or Ben stays consistent, looks like they got the top two over Chronowit. So, but you never know. It's a Charlotte Roval, and there's two chicanes that you can easily overdrive.
14 laps to go. Looking forward to this race coming to a quick end here. The only thing Lemon's got to do is continue to hit his marks. Don't overdrive this car and don't overthink it. You got a 5-second lead. Just take your time and relax.
Although that last lap, he was 0.8 of a second slower than second place Ben Inzega, so
He can afford to give up a little bit. He can give
Yeah,
up a little, but not like that.
yeah, if he does that
14
Ben
more
will be
times,
there.
Ben will be there, yeah.
Didn't see exactly what happened to Lemon that lap, but just stay smooth and consistent. It's easy to run someone down when they make mistakes and you put the pressure on them, but if you run smooth, consistent laps, then it's hard for someone to catch you. And you gotta keep that in mind.
Yep, and the gap has changed a little bit between Hesgard and Larillo. 2 seconds. Larillo is now back off 2.6 seconds off the back end of Hesgard. But Hesgard's got some breathing room now, currently in 5th position. And he is 6 seconds off the back end of Getty Buckner in 4th position. And Getty's 10 seconds off of Chronowit. Wow. So it looks like Lemon, I think, and Chronowit, if everything works out for these gentlemen, will be our finishers in the top 3.
But the question is in what order, because Ben took another half second off from Lemon's lead, and Gary took 0.2 away from Ben.
Yep.
And 0.7 off from Lemon. So
Gary is definitely catching Ben. That is for sure. He is gaining about 0.2 of a second a lap, if not more. Oh wow, he came so close to that wall right there. Gary is just
I'm not
manhandling
gonna
that
say
thing.
it's a bad thing or a good thing to hit it, but if you hit it right, you can bounce off and get a lot of speed. You can point the car by bouncing it off the wall, but you don't want to do it too many times.
This ain't Bristol. We ain't trying to game the system.
That too. But with that being said, it's better to get as close as possible to that wall so you can get a straight shot off back onto the Roval.
And just as we said, Chronowit was gaining. He lost about, well, actually gained. He just gained about half a 10th of a second. I should say a half a second. He gained a half a second on Izinga right there. Wow.
If you remember right, they got together earlier in the race, so if I'm Ben, I'm gonna race a Gary like it's the last lap of the Daytona 500.
Especially if he gets to me.
Yeah, and if I'm Gary, I don't want to hit him again and spin him out, so I'm gonna be extra careful around him unless it gets to crunch time, and then you don't know, he may pull an Alex Bowman and hit him again.
Well, all fair and level war in racing. That's what I always heard. As we were closing down with less than 10 laps to go, Chronowit is slowly but surely closing that gap on Izinga. Now, Izinga is 5 seconds back off the back end of Lemon. As you just saw, he is slowly but surely closing that gap as well on Lemon. So let's see what Lemon's doing to lose time. Because he just lost another 0.2 of a second right there.
I can live with 0.2 of a second each lap. If I'm Lemon's crew chief, I wouldn't be alerting him to that time loss to Ben. I'd be saying, continue hitting your marks, be smooth. If you need to back up chicanes and lose that 0.2 of a second by doing that and not overdrive it and make a mistake, then so be it. I can live with 0.2 of a second.
Oh, wow, he just hit the wall. I know he hit the wall right there. Yeah, he's definitely got damage. Let's back that up and take a quick look at that. He's going to drill this outside wall, ladies and gentlemen. Slam! That'll do it. Not what you want to do here in the closing laps of this race. I mean, he hasn't really lost any ground, as Izinga has actually fell back a little bit.
Looks like Dustin Jones is on pit road again. Definitely unscheduled, or maybe he just wants tires and have more fun with new tires instead of trying to get around this course with old tires.
So he is currently still sitting on pit road. He may be getting some damage fixed.
True. But that last lap between Mike and Ben, they both ran a 23.7, and Cronowit actually ran a 24 flat, so he lost 0.3 of a second to both Lemon and Zega. So if they are just trading lap times, Lemon will be happy with that.
This is true. It seems like Cronowit will gain a little bit and then turn right around and lose it to Izinga. Oh, Izinga, what are you doing? Wow, he really got that car loose. He almost looped it right there. Overdriving, it's crunch time, I get it.
And he catches his lap car at the worst possible time in
And place.
chicane.
That closed almost 0.7 of a second off of the back end for Cronowit. Of course, now Cronowit's got to get his way around Octavia as well. Looks like Octavia's going to give it to him pretty cleanly.
Yeah, Lemon and Cronowit both ran within 1/10 of a second of each other, but Ben ran a 25.2, which was a full second, 1.2 seconds off those two guys' pace. Can't have that if you want to catch the leader, and unfortunately the lap car was in the way at that moment.
He better be worried about Cronowit catching him, as Cronowit is now only 1.8 seconds, or 1.6 seconds now, off the back end of Izinga. If Cronowit can walk away here with a second place finish, that's almost like a win going into the playoffs for him. But again, ladies and gentlemen, your leader is Mike Lemon. Currently working his way through the chicanes here. Got 8 laps to go when he crosses the line, 7 laps when he crosses the line this time by. This race has definitely been anything but uneventful. I mean, we've had a lot of action going on here this evening, a lot of stories to cover. Working lap 37 of 44. And
So if I'm Mike Lemon in this situation, I actually did this last night. When I wanted just to focus on driving, I actually turned my black box off that showed the intervals, because I noticed I was looking at it going into corners and coming off from corners, because I wanted to see how much time I was gaining or losing to the guys around me. And I realized I was overdriving the car and stuff. So I turned it off to the first black box, which updates once per lap, and that allowed me to stay more focused and stuff. So if any of these top 3 drivers need to do that, this is the time to do it, because now it's time to go, because we're about 7 laps to go.
Yeah, I would not want to turn my black box off. I want to know how fast I'm coming up on a lapper or whatever. But I mean, to each his own. If it's distracting for you, definitely put a piece of tape over that thing or cut it all at one. Unfortunately for me, I'm in VR, so I can't very well put tape on mine.
Guess a single monitor has its perks sometimes.
It does that. I actually got 3 monitors, which is what I use to broadcast with. But I still drive in VR. I like my VR. And I would only race on one monitor anyway if I was still running on one monitor. Or running. When I raced, I had 3 monitors, but I only raced on one monitor. I just don't care to have 3 monitors while I'm racing.
Damn, never had 3 monitors, so don't know how it's like.
Well, I got like a 60-inch screen TV for the main view, and then 2 24-inch monitors sitting on the side. So it doesn't really make sense to try to run 3 monitors.
I got one like 26-inch monitor. That's it. But as we're talking about this, Conway has closed in on Enzega because Enzega's getting loose off from corners. Well, not this lap, but I noticed that Gary gained like 7/10 of a second that last lap. This lap, he only gained a 10th on Ben.
It's going to be close with these 2 gentlemen here. Gary Conway is still only 1.2 seconds off the back end of Izinga. Catching him here and passing him, is still 2 different things in these closing laps. 5 laps to go when they cross the line this time by.
Especially since he did make contact with him the first time he tried getting around him. So
I wouldn't want to be sitting in Gary's shoes as he tries to make a move on Izinga in these closing laps. He gains it and he loses it. He gains it and he loses it. Don't want to pop an engine here either. Gearing down.
That is very true. And coming to 6 laps to go this time by. No, not 6. 5 laps to go. I forgot, it's 44 laps, not 45. I have Watkins Glen in my mind.
And the leader has got lap cars in front of him. David Wright and it looks like Andrew Short. Wright just pulls out off the track pretty much and lets Lemon go. We got Octavio Silvera and Andrew Short. Looks like in front of them. At least yeah.
Looks like Octavio's gonna.
Octavio let Short by. Octavio goes up the track to let Lemon by. Wright almost gets into the side of Octavio. Oh, wow. What are you doing? I know David's not happy with that. Let's take a quick look at that. I think these 2 are going to get together. Yeah. Octavio just dive bombs David Wright right here. He's not able to make it work and forces David off the track.
Yeah, when you're letting people by and stuff, it's hard for communication to happen sometimes, and people think they have a right to that gap, and they take it, and it just creates a mess when there's like 3 cars in a little area like that.
Well, this gap has actually gained the distance between Izinga and Cronowit as Cronowitz is trying to get around this lap traffic. Izinga just broke loose right there, but just that lap traffic has put a gap of 2 seconds back between Izinga and Cronowitz. So Cronowitz is really going to have his hands full if he wants to try to gain 2 seconds onto the back end of Izinga in these last closing laps, these last 3 laps, as this race continues to close down. Now, Cronowitz did make up some time right there. He's making up quite a bit of time, to be honest with you. Not sure what's going on with Izinga. This is the closest battle we have right now for position is between Izinga and Cronowitz. And that gap is bouncing between 1.2 and 1.9 seconds between these two drivers. I think it's kind of making its way around Andrew Short. Short just pulls completely out of the way and lets him go. Ooh!
Ooh, he got loose.
Wow. I don't see how they're not spinning this car around coming off the turn right there and having that back tire hit the grass like that. I know if my back tire caught the grass like that, I'd be doing around and around.
So that last lap, Gary gained about half a second on Ben. We'll see if that trend happens this lap as well, coming to 2 to go, right?
Yep. There are only 3 to go, but as soon as Lemon crosses, we'll have 2 to go. And Cronowitz is slowly but surely gaining. He's going to have to gain a lot if he wants to try to pull this off. But again, as we mentioned, getting to him and passing him is 2 different stories, and all in its own. Of course, now you can get around him if you do what you did the first time.
Gains another 0.4 of a second that last lap. So at that pace, he'll only be 0.6 seconds behind when he takes the checkered flag. Gotta gain a little bit more than that.
He's going to have to hope that Izinga makes a heck of a mistake, or Izinga gets called up by Dustin Jones right here. He needs Dustin Jones to actually hold up Izinga, which did not happen.
And he gets out of the way for Cronowitz as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man is the leader of the race, Mike Lemon. We have been currently following the battle between Izinga and Cronowitz, as it is the closest battle on track as of right now.
And he gets absolutely sideways exiting the backstretch chicane and somehow saved it. That was an incredible save.
Who was this?
Gary's now only 1 second behind Ben. Ben had a tough time overdriving the backstretch chicane this past lap.
It looks like he's overdriving these chicanes again as well. Final lap, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go back up front and follow our leader, Mike Lemon, around this track. If the gap changes considerably between Izinga and Cronowitz, I will jump back there. But as of right now, we're going to ride around with the leader, Mike Lemon, who has done an awesome job here this evening here at the Charlotte Roval. He is going to definitely lock himself in contention. If he doesn't hit the wall, spin it out, or blow up and miss a gear in this final lap, he will secure himself in a transfer spot over into the next round of our playoffs. And not too bad, Adam making a pick for the night and having it come to life.
And Ben absolutely blows the backstretch chicane. they're side by side, and Gary gets by.
Wow. Let's rewind that real quickly. Gonna bring you as quickly as we
Mike
can.
Lemon does take the checkered flag in first.
Yeah. Oh wow, Lemon. I think it definitely just messed up really big right there. But he's still gonna walk away. Looks like with a third place finish, so not too bad. He definitely overshot right there. Just drove it in too deep. You burn it down there, Lemon. You deserve it. All right, let's see if I can do this without iRacing killing me, or I should say, oh, I think it done logged out or messed up. Let's see if we can't quickly grab Mr. Izinga and get him in for a chat. Yes, he is our third place finisher, S2R driver. Mr. Izinga, you got a copy, my man.
Yeah, I got you.
Man, tough right there at the end, but you did an awesome job here this evening. Run most of the race in second place, holding off Gary Conowit. Led a few laps up until that little incident between you two. Walk us through it.
Yeah, I qualified pretty well. I expected pretty good results all week, so I was pretty excited for this race. Then went out, qualified well, led a few laps. I knew Gary was faster than me, but I wanted to hold him off as long as I could. Yeah, he got into me. Apologized for it, so we're all good there. That's all right. It happens, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of.
And then
it was a tough block call between him actually getting into you and netcode, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that kind of stuff happens for sure. But yeah, then we pitted. We had that old pit cycle going on. That was fine. I came out of the pits with the same split that I had to Mike when we entered the pits, so that was good. And then a certain lap car wrecked right in front of me when he decided he wanted to race me through the chicane. So that was great. I really appreciated that. No apology or anything from him, so that was good. He ended up finishing 24 laps down.
Well, with that being going on, you still walk away with a solid finish here this evening. Quickly pull the things up. You were on the cut line and you come away in third place. That's definitely going to move you up his points for sure. So, can't say enough about that as far as.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Last week at Richmond was pretty rough, so.
Right.
This is definitely a good.
Well, your thoughts and concerns going into Dover?
I don't like Dover. I usually run okay there, so I think I'll be all right from this point forward. With this good run, lifting my points up a little bit, should be fine.
Well, you're definitely going to move yourself up off the bubble for sure. So going into Dover, just got to maintain that 4th, 5th, 6th position, and I think you'll be all right headed into our playoffs after Dover. You think you can make it all the way to Homestead?
I'd like to think so. The last round's a lot of tracks that I really enjoy, so I think we should have, if not good runs, a lot of fun there. So I'm pretty excited about that second round.
You got anything for him, Adam?
Concerning the strategy that you had, you came in when Mike pitted. Because you were a couple seconds behind, did it occur to you that whether you wanted to pit the same lap and try and beat up on pace, or did you think about at any point like waiting a lap or two to see if you could run them down with a little bit of a tire advantage? I'm just curious of why you chose that strategy.
See, that actually ended up biting me in the butt pretty bad, because I regularly short pit. Most people are aware. I expect that most people would expect that from me, so I was going to pit on lap 20, and then I found that I was catching him pretty good, so I stayed out that one extra lap, so I was going to go in. I didn't even notice Mike was pitting until I was already in my pit stall. I saw him behind me. So that was kind of unfortunate that he decided to short pit it too. But yeah, I didn't lose any time on him or anything, so it's okay.
Nonetheless, you, Mike, and Gary, the three of you had like similar pace, and it was very entertaining watching you three battle for the top 3 positions.
Yeah, I really enjoyed racing those guys. They're good guys to race around. So.
Well, you did an awesome job here this evening. You walked away with a 3rd place finish. You moved yourself up into the points for sure going into the playoffs. We look forward to seeing you at Dover. And congratulations on your 3rd place finish. Shout outs, man. Get them in, get them out. We know you got them. Hello? Oh, well, shit. I'm sitting here talking to myself. Well, you did an awesome job here this evening. You walk away with a 3rd place finish. You definitely moved yourself up into the playoff points heading into Dover. Man, shout outs. Get them in, get them out. I know you got them.
Yeah, for sure. I got to thank you guys for broadcasting first and foremost. Got to thank all the guys who run the league, all the race control guys, all the admin guys who helped out around here. They do a great job. It's a great league to race in. Got to thank S2R for sure, especially the guys that run in this series with me. They're a lot of fun every week to race with and work with in practice and stuff, so that's good. Got to thank you, DRL, and that's about it.
Alrighty, Mr. Rising, and we look forward to seeing you back at Dover. Go get them, my man. You're doing great.
Thanks, David.
Yep. Pop him back down into S2R. And we'll get set to grab Chronowit. Now, Gary is an SGK driver. Oh God, he's gonna be so loud. Let me just adjust his volume real quick. Mr. Chronowit, you got a copy, my man.
Yes, sir. How are you guys doing?
They're doing real good. You did exactly what you needed to do here this evening. You didn't walk away with a win like I thought you were going to, but you drove an awesome race. You come back to finish in 2nd position. You really only needed to finish in 4th to get yourself above the cut line. But you did an awesome job anyway. You're going to gain a lot in the points going into Dover. Walk us through your race, man.
Thank you. Yeah, the race was pretty good to start out with. Me and Ben had a good battle there, which I want to say I apologize to Ben. Getting in the chicane that I wheel hop got into and spun him out. Felt horrible about it. But that's one of them racing deals that happen. I just want to apologize to him. But the car was really loose getting in the corners, coming out. It was so tight coming out of the corners, but you just had to battle that through and through. And then I messed myself up and spun myself out, leading the race, and I think that's what killed me. And I just got too far back. But all in all, it was a real good race. Not what I expected, but I'll take it anyway.
Well, I mean, anytime you can spin a car out and turn around and come back in 2nd position, you've done an awesome job here. That is for sure. You're gonna, like I said, you were last in the point standings going into this race, and you're definitely going to move yourself way up into the point standings. I would say even probably as high as 5th heading into Dover. Your thoughts and concerns going into Dover? Is that a track maybe you could win at?
It's going to be hard to win at a track like that, especially with these new cars. S2R and their group of gang that they bring, them guys are tough to beat week in and week out. My guys, Mike Lemon, congrats to him on his win tonight. It's really, really hard to run with these guys every week and stay fast and consistent. But I think maybe we have a shot, get some practice in and see if we could show these S2R guys what we got.
Well, SGK 1 and 2 this week. Last week, I believe, was S2R 1 through 5. So, it is a back and forth challenge between S2R and SGK. And I know that y'all do a lot of practicing together. A lot of you do anyway, between the two teams. That being said, going into Dover, after Dover, you pretty much, if you don't crash out and finish dead last at Dover, you're going to make it into round 2. Any tracks that you think of going into round 2 that you might possibly be able to walk away or steal one?
I was thinking this track and maybe Dover was my best chance in the first round, but the second round, you know, that's always that wild card where we have a super speedway or something along those lines. But I really don't focus too much on what's ahead. I focus race by race and just worry about what I have to do and just pick them off one at a time and try to stay consistent. You know, that consistency is best, especially in the chase. So.
Well, you definitely got to be consistent if you want to win a championship. At least until you get to wreck somebody out at Homestead race.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Anyway, Gary, you did an awesome job, man. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for my family. I appreciate that. I just want to give you another heads up on that one. Thank you for that.
Yeah, not a problem, man. You're always in my thoughts and prayers, man. Best wishes out to you, and I appreciate you taking the time with everything going on to broadcast these races, and you don't know how much, it means to us to go back and watch.
Well, I mean, again, you've done an awesome job. We look forward to seeing you here at Dover. Adam, my man, you got anything for me?
Yeah, good run tonight. I was impressed with the speed you had. David actually picked you to win tonight, and I was watching
Oh, yeah,
practice
that's the curse.
speeds and qualifying speeds, and I did notice you messed up the backstretch chicane on your qualifying lap, the first lap, and then you hit the wall the second lap, so that put you in second. I think you could have gotten the pole, but with that being said, you definitely had the pace, and that one mistake you made where you spun out from the lead after hitting the turtles on that kink, it put you back. So at that point, did you kind of want to short pit Lemon and try and get the tire advantage on him? And then I noticed that he instead short pitted the field. He was the first one to come down pit road, and I saw you went an extra lap. Can you explain that strategy?
It wasn't really a strategy. I anticipated on them pitting. I didn't know when. But with the tire fall off, what these tires have, each lap you're falling off a half a second or 3/10 or 4/10. I figured if I get a lap advantage, then maybe I would have had a chance to, win the race. But if I would have pitted with them and hit my marks on pit road, I definitely would have had a chance to win this race. I think that's what messed me up there. But all in all, it was a good run. I'm not gonna blame the strategy for that. Just gonna blame the turtles.
Yep.
Yeah, those turtles can reach out, and especially if they're snapping turtles.
And
Oh, yeah, it
Raphael.
snapped me big time.
Raphael, he really cares, don't he? Got to eat all that pizza. Ain't good.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, shout outs, man. Get them in, get them out.
Yeah, I like thank my teammates SGK. All them guys, the hard work we put in, and it's paying dividends now, and we're showing it, and we're gonna be continuing to showing it, and hopefully we get all four of us in the final four. And also like to thank my family, my wife, kids at home, and all you guys in the broadcast booth that put on the show, and you guys are awesome. You rock. So we'll see you next week.
All right, man. Look forward to seeing you at Dover. Go get them.
Thanks, I appreciate that, guys.
Yep. And we are going to move him back down into SGK. If I can make this thing work for me. And then we're going to roll down there and see if we can't grab our last driver, Mike Lemon. God, is everybody wide open on my volume? Oh, I forgot I restarted my computer. I formatted the computer, so every sound has to be checked and double checked. Wow. Oh, Christ. Come on, move out of my way. Broadcast room. Mike Lemon, you got a copy, my man.
Yeah, sure do, guys.
Well, starting this race fourth, you had a personal pick by Adam de Blasio tonight to win the race. Did an awesome job. Actually won it. So you won one for Adam for sure. Walk us through your race. What, first you got picked to win a race? Don't even go there. I picked you to win a race before. You never
Have you
done
really?
it. Yeah. You just don't prove me
usually-
right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He just proves me right.
Well, walk me through your race, man.
I came in here pretty confident. and I was running third. I just let the first two kind of go do their own thing. I was racing the racetrack, not the racers, because I didn't want to do what I did last night in the cup race and kind of spin out by myself. So I just kind of did my own thing, and then I don't know what happened between Gary and Ben, and then I got by Gary. Actually, those two were really fast. It could have been any one of us up there, but then at the after the pit stop, I turned the relative off because I seen I had a 6-7 second lead.
There's another one that does that.
Well, I took Adam's advice from last night, and I actually did that, and it worked because I'm like, well, I got half a race to go. If I lose a second or two, even every few laps, I don't really care because I still finish second or third. So that's exactly what I did, and it paid
That's
off.
strategy. Well, you did an awesome job here tonight, for sure. Didn't get quite as much airtime with the battle going on between Cronowit and Izinga in the closing laps, but you still did an awesome job here tonight. Your thoughts and concerns headed into, well, I mean, you're locked in for the next round, of course, since you won, but still, thoughts and concerns headed into Dover?
I'm not too bad at Dover. I'm usually top 5 kind of car. But I don't know, I'm no road racer, but it just seems this year the road courses seem to be my strong point. So I kind of wanted to take advantage of that tonight. I knew this was my chance, especially last week when I wrecked out. So I'm glad I got this win tonight because it kind of secures my spot.
Well, show up for Dover, make a lap, you're secure, that's for sure. Shout outs, man. Get them in, get them out. Wait a minute, hold on. Before you do that, Adam, you got anything for your winner?
Well, thank you for making it look like I know what I'm saying when I picked you to win this race. And I just want, instead of asking you a question, I just want to touch on a couple things that I actually said during the broadcast and what you said in your interview. The fact that you turned off your relative and you took like my advice from last night. I actually said if I'm Mike right now, I am turning off the relative. I'm going to be smooth, hit my marks, and whatever happens, happens. And I knew you were going to take care of the car. I had a feeling you would take care of the car. I had a feeling you were going to be smooth and consistent. And you did keep the car clean until you did your burnouts. And you smashed it all up to you know what, which was funny. But I just want to say kudos to you for a clean race, which is exactly how you attack road course races. You race the track and not other people. Other than that, I don't have a question for you. Just the comment of awesome job and proving me that I'm right. And I got 2 wins in 2 nights on the track and picking the winner.
But you know, losers can get lucky sometimes. You know that, right?
Here now.
Yeah, here and now. I'm just messing with you, Adam. Shout outs. Get them out, Lennon.
Well, of course, you guys for doing the broadcast every week. That's a huge plus. And my teammates, we had a practice before the race, and Gary and Getty were fast. So you guys are a big help. And I don't know. And after the race, yeah, I was so happy. I mashed the throttle, and I didn't care what happened after that.
Well, after that, it's paid for, right?
That's right. Getty pays the bills.
I know that's right. It's as long as it ain't me paying them. But anyway, Mike, congratulations on your win here tonight. You're locked in for the playoffs for round 2. Go get them at Dover. Win, lose, or draw, you're already there. So make every lap count.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Moving back down into S2R, so exactly what he really wants to do. And I'm just messing with let's see. Unofficial results, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Lemon led 27 laps. The only one he really needed to leave was the last one, if he did that. Cronowit got 3 laps led, going to walk away with a second place finish. Izinga, 14 laps. Third place, Buckner finishes in fourth. Hesgard did exactly what he needed to do. He finished his race. He finished it on the lead lap and in the top 5. So that's going to definitely keep him in contention into the playoffs, even though he has a win going into the next round. Points, points, points. That's all you can do is points. And with Hesgard, he's going to try to get as much as he can when he can. Barillo walks away with a 6th place finish. Bill Edwards comes home 7th. Andrew Short 8th. Brent King top 9th. And David Wright is going to walk away with a top 10. Clay Phillips ends up in 11th position. Dustin Jones 12th. Octavio Silveira actually finishes the race in 13th position. And James Pandolf had some really bad luck here this evening and ends up 14th place. Pretty much going to knock him out of the contention for the playoffs. He's currently 11th in the points. And Gary Conway comes home 2nd. And everybody else above him is definitely still above him. So it's probably going to move JP down to the 12th position as far as the playoff points are concerned. He's really going to have to make something happen at Dover if he wants to try to continue on into the next round of our playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank everybody here at Dynasty Racing League for everything that they do. I want to thank Adam, especially for joining me here tonight. I thought I was going to have to broadcast by myself, so thank you, Adam.
Yeah, it was a pleasure joining you. Believe it or not, this was my first ever broadcast. I've never commentated before, so definitely had fun in the booth, and it was an entertaining race with all the racing, and especially the battle with the top 3 there.
Well, you did an awesome job. You helped me out when needed, so that's all that matters. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to thank JP for putting this thing together and all the financial and marketing aspects that he does with this league. I got to thank him for his broadcasting, race control, administration. He does it all. Wow. Technical and graphics department, Martin Wenzel and Jordan Gonzalez. Thank you, Martin, for everything you do week in and week out. Can't say that enough as far as these graphics are concerned. Getting them in, getting them out every week. It's got to be a tough job. I wouldn't want to have it. You do an awesome job of doing it. Broadcasters, myself, David Welver Jr., Taylor Richard Benjamin, Martin Wenzel, Katie Buckner, James Pandolf, and all of the volunteers that show up week in and week out to join us in the broadcast. We want to thank y'all immensely for stepping in and helping out. Race control, Martin Wenzel, Katie Buckner, James Pandolf, Robbie Armstrong, Dakota Wilkins, Brian Hesgard, Jeremy Hebel, Richard Springer, and Eric Winterholz. Man, y'all guys got a tough job. I know I don't want that job. Y'all can have it. Y'all do an awesome job of doing it. And without y'all, we wouldn't have the league we have. So again, thank everybody at Race Control and all the hard work they put in. Administrators are James Pandolf, Katie Buckner, Martin Wenzel, Ryan Franklin, and myself. Thoughts and concerns, questions, anything, hit us up. We're in red inside of Discord. If you can't get us on Discord, you can always hit JP up through the website with his email address. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude tonight's broadcast from Charlotte Motor Speedway at the Roval. Be sure and join us next week for Dover International Speedway. We'll be there for 175 laps if that graphic is correct. It's going to be an awesome race. And join us tomorrow night. It's going to be an awesome race, 80 laps in Charlotte. There may or may not be a new long-time driver who has stepped away and might pop back in there. I'm not sure. But definitely going to be supporting some new paint if he shows up. Anyway, tomorrow night is going to be Charlotte. Show up, come and watch us all have a good time at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Tomorrow is going to be a oval race course, so come watch us. It's going to be awesome. Well, Adam, that's going to conclude tonight's broadcast. I want to thank you again for stepping in and showing up here tonight and helping me out.
Yeah, like I said before, I had a fun time and glad to give you a hand. I know it's usually really tough to do a broadcast alone because I've seen some of those and I couldn't imagine doing one alone, but I'm glad that we could work together tonight.
Well, I'm used to it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude tonight's broadcast here for Dynasty Racing League's DRL TV. Join us again tomorrow night for the Charlotte race. Good night and God bless.